and welcome back to the channel. Food. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Reflect videos like this.
The Nazca mummy autopsy and CT scans have just been revealed, and what it shows is that their anatomy doesn't really fit in any textbook that we have on Earth. And if this was fake, the CT scans would reveal that. In 2025, a retired radiologist with over 40 years of experience performed a virtual autopsy on this body using a hospital-grade CT imaging. No physical dissection, just thousands of X-ray slices and a lot of questions. The body was naturally dried, not artificially mummified. Inside, everything was connected: the bones, joints, soft tissue, even internal organs. More importantly, the scans showed biological responses to injury, bleeding, healing, and structural changes. This tells us this was once a living biological being. The first thing that people noticed: the hands. 3 fingers, 3 toes. But here's the key: this isn't amputation or deformation. Each digit has full bones, joints, ligaments, and spacing that don't match known human anatomy. CT scans show the structure is internally consistent all the way down. The skull raises even more questions. There's no visible cranial sutures, they're fused. The eye sockets are large, widely spaced. There are no external ears and no external ear canals. And the opening where the spine meets the skull, called the foramen magnum, is shaped differently than in modern humans. Now here's the part even skeptics pause on. CT scans showed metal implants, one over each shoulder and a collar-like implant behind the neck. But the critical detail: new bone has grown into the neck implant. This only happens if the implant was placed whilst the body was alive. The scans also reveal catastrophic injuries: a deep penetrating wound on the neck damaging the spine. There was a massive internal bleeding, collapsed lung, and partially collapsed heart. The radiologist concluded that the cause of death was severe trauma and blood loss. The researchers say this body does not match any known human syndrome. They don't claim to know what it is, only that it doesn't fit what we currently understand. So the real question is, what is Sebastian? It's how many chapters of our past might be still missing. The scans still don't tell us exactly what this is, but just reminds us that this is a real being that walked among us at one time, and there's multiple of them and more keep being found in Peru. And it kind of reminds us that we don't really know as much as we like to think, and we're constantly being surprised and having to rewrite our story as a whole, mate. So I will keep you up to date, so stay tuned for part 2, mate. I will dive a little bit deeper, and you guys let me know what you think down below.
I gotta speak English.
Ya lo hice.
You already speak English?
Sí.
You're speaking Spanish.
No.
I don't even know where you learned Spanish.
Otra vez.
Who knows, he might have a second family with a baddie Latina.
The moon is a spaceship. It was built on Jupiter about 38 million years ago. Now, it doesn't have its own propulsion. It has to be towed. Our moon was towed into its orbit now about 15,000 years ago, just after the Ice Age. And when man first became aware of the skies, there was no moon, and then there was 2 moons, and then there was 1 moon. And we think that the 2 moons was the vehicle that towed our moon into space. Howard Menger wrote a book called From Outer Space to You, and when I read the book, I thought it was really great. Found out that not only he was invited up there, but there was a number of other people, scientists. They take them all around the moon. There's a train that travels to what he calls a copper highway, and he doesn't know how it goes, but it's very silent and goes very fast. Very nice people, very advanced, and they've taken, like I say, they've taken thousands of people over the years. People don't say that, won't tell their story, because they know that they won't be believed. Our solar system, we're told by NASA there's 9 planets. There's actually 40. There's the Earth plus 39. And each of those planets has a civilization, and each of those planets has moons that have civilizations.
We are picking a passenger called Betty up from the Fort Lincoln Cemetery. So we are at a cemetery and we have a passenger to pick up. I'm picking this person called Betty up, and it's over there. And it's a cemetery and there's no one over here. So we'll find out what's going on here. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but let's go find out what's going on over here. It's kind of it's kind of crazy. Well, my app says I'm here. Let's try calling them again.
This Uber call is being recorded. Please leave your message.
So I ended up canceling the ride because there's nobody over here. You know? No one over here.
Chinese parents in Yang have discovered why their 3-year-old daughter does not look like them. As you can see, she is blonde and has blue eyes and does not appear like those in China normally. She was born in 2022, and her parents began to think that the hospital had changed their daughter. They began to perform DNA tests, which confirmed that she is indeed their biological daughter, so they started looking into their family's genetic history. They did not know anyone with these characteristics among their ancestors. It turned out that they discovered that their daughter's paternal great-grandfather was Russian. His great-grandfather married a woman in China, and that is where their daughter's genes come from. They also said that the genes inherited from their great-grandfather that affect these features are apparently inactive in males, since all previous births in their family were male, and no one showed this trait. But somehow the genetic traits had remained hidden for generations until the daughter of this Chinese couple arrived.
Genetics are so wild.
So y'all, it's not just the moon that people are catching that's looking at normally weird. I said people like I'm not one of the ones that's doing it. But look at the sun that's rising in Russia. What the heck is going on here? How many suns do Russia got right now? Yeah, I got a collection of videos and photos for you to watch, man. Stick with me because this is going to get crazy, y'all. Look at this. So this is Russia. Here go another picture from Russia, y'all. People are posting the sun like crazy in Russia because they're trying to figure out what the hell is this thing, y'all. This is the sun, but why does it have 2 other suns with it? And what is this ring around it? And why is this huge orb around it? What are they not telling us? Here go another angle. I told y'all everyone in Russia was posting this because they're like, what is this? In another one in Russia, this one looks a lot brighter, maybe the different positioning of the person taking the picture, but check this out, y'all. Now check out this video this lady recorded in Thailand of the so-called sun, y'all. Look at this. Why does it look like the moon last night? Why does it look like the moon with the giant orb in the light right here as well? And y'all notice something about the clouds? As soon as they get underneath the sun, they disperse. Look at this. What is this all about? Look at this, y'all. What the helly? Check out this video from Vietnam, y'all. Look at this. It's a whole portal up there, y'all. There's a whole nother world behind there. Is this where we're going to? Is this where we're going to? This one in Ghana is gonna blow your mind, y'all. I have never seen the sun looking like this. What in the world is this? You can see it clear as day, y'all. What is going on? Oh my goodness. This thing is crazy. This is in Ghana. They took this the other day. And I know a lot of y'all gonna be like, bro, that's just a sundog. But y'all realize we've been lied to about everything. NASA means to be deceived. It's a lie. So what really is this? What are they hiding from us? Why does this thing look like a magic crystal ball? This was just last month in Australia. Look at this. Look at this. What is this? Look at what someone posted under my video, y'all. Look at this. The sun looks like a giant eye. Look at this. The pupil, that little star that be in your eye. Look at this. There's so many sources of light over here. Now, if you can't see that this one looks like a giant literal eye, I don't know what to tell you, because look at this. Look at the iris. Look at the pupil. Look at this, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the striations within the iris. Y'all see that, man? Is this what they mean when they're talking about AI? Because the sun literally looks like an eye, y'all. And I believe it's going to get a lot clearer for us. Clear eyes. Remember that? Oh my God. Because what is it doing over here? Look at this, y'all. I believe we're going to find out some crazy things about our sun pretty soon, y'all. Because once again, why is our sun mirroring our moon? Y'all see that? Why is the same giant orb that be behind the sun also be behind the moon? Who can explain that to me? Who? Don't worry about it. I already know the reason why. But yes, y'all, The moon is acting strange, and so is the sun, and everybody's catching it. Let me know down in the comments below what y'all think about this. The shift is here, and it's accelerating. I've been telling y'all. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Day 767 of spraying dog medicine on my hands to make them tougher. If you haven't checked in a while, I think the dog medicine gave me superpowers. I'll be trying to levitate different things in this video. These are foam balls which react really well, as you can see. Paper clips, little bit of reaction, but not much. I can now levitate aluminum foil. Matches react a little bit to my hands. Let's see if we can light one with a fork.
Dear Mr. Levin, from information I received while using a Ouija board, I believe that there will be an attempt to assassinate you. The spirit that gave me this information was Brian Epstein.
Brian Epstein, who was the former manager of the Beatles.
What people call the black sun, the core, is actually projecting a map on the moon of the earthly realm. And this is where you'll see here. You need to think about mirror as a projection. And when you flip the moon in reverse, you'll see that it holds an entire map of the realm that we live within. Has all the continents, everything's there. And this is not just, like I said, I want to give you guys actual things that you could see visually and you could do for yourself. But when you're out of your body and you're accessing the other side, all this is available to you and all this is visible and seen for what it really is. I know a lot of people may not like to hear truth because it's harder for someone to tell you you've been lied to your entire life when truth is finally revealed to you. The moon is an entire mapping system of the realm that we live within, and also the realm that's pretty much cut off from us. There's other land masses. It's not just Australia, America, and all the continents that they tell you that is here. And you can access these when you're out of your body and see it. When people want to look at, get a better visualization of constructs, these are some images here that you could visually look at to get a better understanding, like seeing it. When you see something as I talk, sometimes it just clicks. The image on the left is essentially the construct of what I was showing in the beginning, but a single construct has multi-dimensional spaces and realms within a single construct. The one that we're in has 12, right? This is also where it goes into all the ancient civilizations have known about this. A lot of the history, this is what I said before, in the ancient texts, a lot of the texts are actually true, but they hold a lot of distortions because a lot of the texts and truth of the records have been destroyed within this realm. This is where you get the reset of things. This is where you get the giants and all those things. That was all here, but it has been wiped, the records. And so there's still, when you read books or you go into that, you could still find some truth, right? And it's still there. But when you leave your body and you access the other side, you access the records because all things, everything is available to all of us. That's all the information. Nothing is never truly lost.
And the million-dollar question is, what's in the box?
Oh look, the Magic Circle game. Kubrick must have accidentally left it at the end of Eyes Wide Shut. So as we all know in demonology, a magic circle is never something you play with. It's the boundary where a spirit is summoned, and the summoner becomes bound to the ritual that they started. So when Kubrick slips a board game called the Magic Circle at the end of Eyes Wide Shut, he's telling us the real secret. Decades later, Bill never left the ritual. The circle still surrounds him. Step inside the Magic Circle and the pact is made automatically. Bill did that the moment he crossed the threshold into Somerton, long before he understood what he was inviting. A circle protects you from the entity, but it also traps you in the ritual space. Bill thinks he walked away, but the world he returns to is still charged and vibrating with that same energy, with those same rules. So in occult lore, a magic circle stays active until it's consciously broken. Kubrick shows us the opposite. Bill never breaks it. He apologizes, he confesses, he even negotiates. Everything except severing the ritual bond. So the ceremony didn't end in Somerton. Bill is still inside the circle because he never closed it. What are your thoughts on the Magic Circle game and Eyes Wide Shut? Drop a comment and let me know. And don't forget to follow, like, share, and favorite for more deep dives into the greatest movies ever made.
They aren't supposed to do that, are they?
When you look at Sean Combs, he was an FBI informant until he was arrested. He was an FBI informant going back to the 1990s. So why did the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security raid his house here in Holmby Hills? Thousands of videotapes of senators, congressmen, okay, including people like Hakeem Jeffries now is on those tapes. Why do you think President Trump got his tax bill passed? Now, President Trump can reveal the Epstein and the Diddy list, but he's smart. He says, I'm keeping this. You see?
That's a leverage.
Leverage. And so Diddy is going down, okay? People like Stephen A. Snitch, okay? His best friend, Stephen A. Snitch, is a boule, okay? I met him about 2 years ago at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Nice guy, but he is what we call a house Negro, okay?
What does it mean?
A house Negro is a person, a boule, that protects the gate of its master. A house Negro, as Malcolm X says, protects the system of its master. Stephen A. Snitch used to say, you know, I'm so excited about making money for my bosses. Okay, so Disney, okay, pedophiles, and ESPN. And if you are pro-Trump, they will fire you. Okay, another topic for another day. So then, Stephen A. Snitch is a boule. Okay, so all of these people, these black journalists like Gabby Phillips on the Crack News Network, they're boules. Okay, Gayle King, you know, of CBS News, shortly after Kobe was assassinated, she interviewed a former WNBA player who was great friends with Kobe, Lisa Leslie, and was asking Lisa Leslie, did Kobe rape that girl and call her, bashing the reputation of Kobe Bryant. Why? Because boules do this, and then right after that interview, Gayle King, Oprah Winfrey's girlfriend, gets a $500,000 raise. This is what they do. They don't care about us. These gatekeepers, I'm telling you, Reverend Al Vitamin B Deficient Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Benjamin Crump, Farrakhan, they're all a part of the boule secret society.
So we have this huge club, right? So Skull and Bones, then we have the Boulets, we have all the names, you name it. Clintons, Bidens, Obamas. Who's not in the club from this administration? But because it feels like this administration with Trump and J.D. Vance and all those guys, it's like they're the opposite of those, but they're in their club of their own. That's what it feels like.
You know what? They are, but they're not a part of the Illuminati. They're not a part of Phi Beta Kappa or Kappa Beta Phi, but they're playing the game. That's how they got into power.
Pause. Fool. Look, after editing this madness, my brain is fried. I use this channel to reset. It's pure red pill with mesmerizing visuals and soothing sounds. Go sub to 3 Eye Sensory right now. Link is in the pinned comment. And don't say I never looked out for you, fool. Now, back to the creepy.
It's been like that for like already 2 to 3 minutes. I feel bad for them because all the power is shut off on it too right now. This is scary. Alright, update. They're still up there. It's been about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more, and they've...
Bro, it's really broken. Is our friends up there? Yeah. Give me my phone right now. That's crazy. Bro.
Stopped at the worst position possible.
If you think mirrors are low-key creepy, you are not alone in that fear. Around the world, for thousands of years, people have been terrified of mirrors, not because of how they reflect you, but what might be looking back at you. Have you ever seen a mirror covered after someone passes away? Yeah, it's so that their soul doesn't get trapped in the mirror. Certain religions do that. Feng Shui says never put a mirror at the end of your bed because your soul might get confused while you're asleep and wind up in the mirror. In ancient Greece, they used to use mirrors to contact the dead, and sometimes the dead spoke back. And that brings us to the demon mirror. The mirror so terrifying that the Vatican has to keep it locked underground in the secret archive. The demon mirror is claimed to be carved from obsidian, which is volcanic rock that the Aztecs used to use to summon their god. The gag with the demon mirror is it doesn't summon anything, it shows you your death, or worse, it shows you your shadow self. They say this mirror whispers in Latin, cracks during blessings, and then heals itself overnight. One priest decided he was going to be Billy Badass and stand in front of the mirror alone. He left the room with his eyes bleeding, mumbling, "It knows my name," and he was never the same. The Vatican classifies the demon mirror as a class 3 infernal object, and it's in a lead-lined vault with constant supervision. Why? Not because it's haunted or possessed, but because it's waiting. What the hell is it waiting on? The church says there might be a twin out there, and if these two mirrors link up, it is quite literally the apocalypse. Here's the thing, black obsidian mirrors are actually not that uncommon. They're used as scries all the time, but there's certain mirrors out there, like the one that John Dee used, the Vatican's keeping a close eye on, but that's not it. Inside the Vatican archives, there's also a crucifix that bleeds during solar eclipses, but we can talk about that another time.
Bro, whose fucking grandma is on the road? Bro, what? Bro, does she need help crossing? Bro, what the fuck is she doing? Hello? She was fucking tweaking, dude. Whose grandma is that? That's kinda creepy, though. He asked my number. What the fuck, bro? Like, I don't know. Joel, grandma?
And that was 100% a ghost. You can't convince me otherwise.
This is going to just blow your mind. In 2015, both Ghislaine Maxwell and John Podesta were seen promoting the United Nations Global Goal number 14 to their social media accounts. Okay, so you see the Instagram posts, they're all promoting that. You see Ghislaine on the side holding the sign that says 14 with the fish. And right below, you got John Podesta holding his hand up with the fish written on it and a 14 in the other hand. And this is posted on his own Twitter. He says, important but overlooked global goal number 14. We must protect our oceans and life they sustain. Hashtag SDGs. Now I want you guys to think, what does fish 14 mean? Try to catch the symbolism. I'm going to give you guys a second. Fish 14, okay? They're showing it in both hands. It means fish for teens. They're fishing for teens in the ocean with their submarines in these uncharted waters that have no jurisdiction by any country. They're putting it right in your face, and they have to show that, and they have to do things like this because that is how they get their karmic retribution. That's just what they believe. They believe in karmic retribution. They want to show their hand and then play their hand. That way, when if they show you their hand and they play their hand, they showed it to you. They don't feel like they're doing anything wrong to you. There's a picture of Stephen Hawking in a submarine enjoying a tour of Epstein Island. And you see him below there in his wheelchair just looking at the ocean below the island in a submarine. And I'm sure they just brought him right up to the coast right after on the side. They brought him in. Probably didn't have to get out of his wheelchair one time. Made his way through. Went up to the temple. Next picture you see is him eating at the island at nighttime. And many people think that was at the same time.
This illustrated map of 1876 is so crazy. There's stuff on here that doesn't make sense. I got questions. I'm trying to figure it out still. And I'm probably going to have to do a couple videos because there's just way too much to review in this. Come check it out. Let's dive in. This is what I do. I find old maps. I find things that don't make sense. And I dive into them. So first things first, let's just go ahead and show you what we got here. La Tour de Monte en blah. I tried my best with my French accent, didn't work well, but 1876 French map maker did this and did it very illustrated. So I'm just going to show you. Check it out. So when you see all of these here just going across, I tell you, when I looked at all these pictures and I started getting up close, it looks just as if every character I've watched in every single movie. And half of them I saw in the Raiders of the Lost Ark and then the Indiana Jones movies, because that's what all these characters look like. It's crazy. And by the way, this is what the American character is supposed to look like. Yeah, that guy right there, number 77. It's pretty wild how but they depict a lot of different people all over the world. Some interesting attire, some that makes sense, some that doesn't make sense. So I'll show you the one that really freaked me out. I've seen a lot of these things and a lot of stuff on here, but the one that was really kind of weird, yeah, it's this one right there. That right there. What in the, huh? Make that make sense to me. Okay, and number one, by the way, they have the numbers on all these, so we'll just go ahead and scroll down here, is the Amazons. Yeah. Thought that was crazy. Anybody ever heard of that? Like people with horns and stuff like that? And I've seen a lot of maps, I just never seen that character. And then here's something else I thought was really interesting. We'll go ahead and go to the Americas here, right? So we have the Americas now, as you can see. Goes down into the South Americas here. At Venezuela. Got Panama here. They specifically put Panama here. They got a thing that looks like maybe something that's a canal maybe or something, or a river or something going already across. Mind you, this map is an older map. Go ahead and look up real quick when the Panama Canal was made. That doesn't make sense to me either. By the way, Panama Canal was completed in 1914. So, I don't know, maybe that was just an anomaly. Maybe that's something they wanted to have on there. Or was it already there? Who knows? But I will tell you what I found very crazy is, again, all the drawings, right?
Well, what the heck is all this up here? I mean, look at these. Yes, a little Aztec. That almost looks a little Egyptian to me. Doesn't that look Egyptian? Call me crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me what you think. That looks Egyptian. That one there looks more like what I would see when down in the Aztec areas and stuff like that, but not that one there. So I thought that was wild. And again, they have all the drawings. They've everything here. You can see the flag for Mexico there. And then some of the buildings that were already done like this right here. Thought it was pretty wild. Shows the Americas here. Already shows Washington and Philadelphia. But one other area, look at Chicago, built out like crazy already. And then, where are the Great Lakes? Can somebody tell me where the Great Lakes are at? Because I don't see them there. I just see the big Hudson Bay up here, and these are lakes up into the Canadian areas. That just looks like one big, huge lake. Maybe everything's connected at that point. I just thought that was interesting too. And then let's go on up. Casters. It's kind of weird looking, isn't it? Tell you, I find weird stuff. Okay, let's keep going. I wanted to show you the middle of the map. Up at the top, all the explorers. So here is all the names around here, so you can see the names there. And these were all the explorers that went to the North Pole. And I found it really interesting. They show different explorers, as you can see. This is Peterman Project going all the way up there. And then they have Project Francis. So France went there. And then back then, I didn't know this, but it looks like it says Project Anglais et Americans. So the Americans went there too. Interesting. Didn't know they had a trip or voyage there, and I have a few books on voyages to the Arctic. Those are interesting books. Anyways, I thought I'd share this. There's a lot more to go over in this map. I only hit a few of the 20 plus things I found in this craziness. Like, next time I'm going to dive into that cross and the differences with it. Well, heck, I'll tell you at least what I know about it. It's like Alpha and Omega, and it's a cross that's the sea mariners used to use. I don't know what the part on the top is. I'm still trying to figure that out. Anyways, if anybody knows more than that, or if they think I got that wrong or want to tell me, please comment, let me know. I'd be happy to be wrong or get some education on it. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll kind of zoom out so you can see the whole area here, or the best you can of it. And I will do another video on this map and show you some more stuff with it. Until next time.
Meanwhile, those labels came out of the same printer the chicken did.
Alright, so you know my story. I was part of ETA-10, See No Evil. Later, I was transferred to Epsilon 11, Nine-Tailed Fox. And eventually, after too many containment breaches, too many close calls, and too many classified reports that contradicted each other, the O5s promoted me to Chief of Security. That's where we start today's video. Because from that position, I finally saw what the Foundation refused to deal with. Everyone loves to talk about anomalies on land, creatures, artifacts, memetics, mind-warping Euclids, city-destroying Keters. But the truth they bury deeper than any SCP file, is that Earth's oceans are still the biggest anomaly we have. And the Foundation stopped researching them decades ago. Not because they ran out of resources, but because they started finding things they couldn't explain, things they couldn't contain, things older than civilization, some older than human memory. So, quietly, invisibly, I built a task force that could handle it. A task force the O5s never fully approved, never fully understood, and definitely never intended to exist. Mobile Task Force Leviathan 7, Seafloor Shepherds. The oceans cover 71% of Earth, yet the Foundation understands maybe 1% of what lives there. You've heard of SCP-3000. You've heard whispers of SCP-1128. You've seen footage, grainy, unstable, of things breaching sonar range before every instrument fails. But that isn't even the beginning. During my time as Chief of Security, I was given access to oceanic black site archives, failed expeditions, submersibles crushed into metallic confetti, entire dive teams that disappeared mid-sentence over comms. Patterns emerged. Depths where physics shouldn't behave the way they did. Currents that shaped themselves intentionally, structures with geometric signatures that predated human architecture, yet were clearly built by something. Someone had to go down there. Someone had to survive long enough to study it. Someone had to be capable of fighting back when something in the Abyss decided to hunt us, and no existing MTF could do that. So I built my own. Now, let's talk about how the team came to be, officially. I recommended certain operators be relieved from duty for reassignment. Unofficially, I handpicked some of the most elite soldiers, researchers, engineers, and deep dive specialists the Foundation had ever trained. People from Tau 5, Gamma 6, Alpha 9, and other units I probably still can't legally mention. Imagine taking the star player from each of your favorite sports teams and putting them under one roof. That's how elite these soldiers are. I brought them in quietly. No team rosters, no budget trails, no 05 oversight. Then I showed them what the Foundation refused to acknowledge. I taught them what we really found in the deep trenches. I trained them to operate in an environment where light, pressure, and direction become meaningless. And I outfitted them with technology the Foundation still doesn't know I designed. Each member of Leviathan 7 wears a full-body aquatic exosuit, something between power armor, a dive rig, and an experimental pressure nullification shell. These suits do three primary things. 1. Survive impossible pressure. The deeper you go, the more the ocean tries to liquefy you. These suits counteract that using a multi-layered compression field that stabilizes internal pressure regardless of depth. Imagine wearing a personal physics bubble. 2. Move faster underwater than on land. Hydrodynamic boosters, microthrusters, adaptive fin arrays, call it whatever you want. In the water, they move like predators. Imagine this. A foot race, you on land. A Leviathan 7 running on the bottom of the ocean. The chances of you winning the race? 0. 3. See in perfect clarity. Bioluminescent scanning, echolocation, low-frequency mapping, and a proprietary optical system that cuts through darkness like it's air. Where a submarine sees a wall of black, Leviathan 7 sees everything. These suits made my team the first humans in history who could travel the deep ocean without being crushed, blinded, or eaten alive. And that meant they could finally start documenting what the Foundation pretended wasn't there. Alright, so, weapons. The team carries supercavitating rifles that fire projectiles encased in gas bubbles, meaning they travel through water like they're moving through air. Thermal lance harpoons capable of burning through the hide of megafauna thicker than tank armor. Electropulse detonators designed to stun, redirect, or ward off entities that respond to electromagnetic fields. And in emergencies, the Leviathan Spire. The one weapon only accessible to L7 units as it requires biometric scans configured to the agents. It is a collapsible pylon that generates a dome of stabilized water pressure. Inside the dome, breathable atmosphere, stable footing, functional gear. Outside the dome, whatever nightmare the trench just vomited out. Humanity wasn't supposed to fight underwater, so I engineered a way for us to do it anyway. Leviathan 7 isn't just another MTF. They are apex predators designed for a world humans don't belong in. They're trained to operate at depths deeper than any manned submersible, engage hostile aquatic anomalies at full speed, navigate pitch-black environments with perfect spatial awareness, survive pressure that would turn a normal person into red mist, hunt entities larger than buildings, recover artifacts or organisms buried beneath the seafloor, enter zones the Foundation classifies as non-navigable, and return with recordings, samples, or warnings. They are the only task force on Earth that can explore the deep trenches without dying, and the only team designed to fight something that has lived there long before we appeared on land. So why go against the O5s? The deeper I went into oceanic research, the more obvious it became. If the O5 Council learned what I was building, they'd want full control. Not because it was dangerous, everything they authorize is dangerous, but because Leviathan 7 represented something the Foundation fears more than any SCP, anomalous knowledge that doesn't belong to them. I created a team that answered to no one but me, a team capable of exploring places the Foundation abandoned, a team that proved we were never alone in the ocean, and never safe. By the time the O5s realized what Leviathan 7 could do, the team was already operating in international waters, far beyond their jurisdiction, and the discoveries they made, changed everything. Today, L7 still operates under my command. The only tie I still have to continuing my research and access to Foundation assets. There's a question that still lingers in the MTF barracks. Why did Marcus create Leviathan 7? Here's the truth. Because someone had to face what's down there. Someone had to map the abyss. Someone had to protect this world from the things that rise from below and the things that watch from the dark. And because the Foundation stopped looking. But I didn't, and neither did Leviathan 7. This planet may belong to humanity, but the ocean never did. So there you have it, Leviathan 7, the apex predators of the ocean. My personal MTF unit that still protects not only the seas, but me. Until next time, this has been Dr. Marcus Zane, former head of research for the SCP Foundation, and what the prophecy calls the bridge.
Wow. I guess the car door couldn't handle it.
Look at the word grammar. Where does it come from? Grimoire, that's a book of magic spells. The structure of language, grammar, was originally understood as a magical system. Then there's cursive writing. We call it cursive because it creates curses. And spelling, you're casting spells. This isn't hidden. It's right there in plain sight. They just trained you to laugh it off as coincidence. But here's where it gets disturbing. In 1946, something vanished from American schools. Not prayer, not paddling. Etymology, the study of where words come from and what they actually mean. And the moment they removed it, you lost the ability to see the trap. Because when you understand what words really mean at their root, you start noticing that almost every word you use was designed to program you into accepting limitations you never agreed to. Let me prove it to you right now. There's a reason they stopped teaching etymology in 1946. Before that, every kid learned to decode words, to understand the hidden programs inside language. Then it stopped. Everywhere. All at once. They replaced it with memorization and standardized tests. Why? Because if you knew that understand literally means to stand under, to submit, you might stop saying I understand in every agreement. If you knew government breaks genes to govern, meaning control, and ment, meaning mind, you might start questioning authority differently. They gave you a corrupted vocabulary and told you words don't matter. But words are spells, and they've been casting them over you your entire life. Listen, I know how that sounds. I know you're probably thinking, okay, this is going to be some weird metaphor thing. But stay with me, because what I'm about to show you isn't a metaphor at all. It's physics, it's biology, and they've systematically hidden it from you because once you understand that your words aren't describing reality, they're creating it, you become ungovernable. Here's the truth nobody's telling you. You've been doing the work, right? Like positive thinking. This means you're not lazy, and you're definitely not missing some secret ingredient. But here's what's happening. You've been using contaminated language that programs failure directly into your nervous system, and they did that on purpose. Think about it. You say, I'm trying to lose weight. What does your subconscious hear? Trying, attempting, but not succeeding. It means effort without result. You say, I want to be successful. Your body hears want, lack, desire, the state of not having. You say, I need more money. Your cells receive need, scarcity, desperation, emergency mode. Every single one of those statements is a spell, and you just cast limitation into your reality without even knowing it. Now here's what they don't want you to know. The elite study etymology like their lives depend on it. They teach their children Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, Hebrew, these ancient languages that are basically frequency codes. While they're learning to program reality, they give your kids text speak and emojis. They dumb down the vocabulary. They remove etymology from schools, and they tell you the biggest lie ever told. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's not protection. That's programming you to dismiss the most powerful force in your reality. Words aren't neutral. I need you to understand this. They're not just communication tools, they're technology. Frequency technology. Every word you speak creates an electromagnetic signature. Problem is, nobody told you that thoughts don't create reality. Words do. Because thoughts are made of words, right? You can't think without language. And if your language is corrupted, your thoughts are corrupted, which means your reality is corrupted. It's that simple. And get this, spelling and casting spells aren't coincidence. But once you decode even 5 words, you can't unsee it. Mortgage. Mort means death, like mortal mortuary. Gage means pledge, like engage. A binding agreement. Mortgage equals death pledge. You're signing a death pledge, and they call it that right to your face. Pharmacy comes from pharmakia, sorcery, witchcraft. Government equals govern, control, plus meant mind, mind control. They're telling you exactly what they're doing, and you're agreeing because nobody taught you to read the code. So here's what changes once you understand this. Once you get that language is literal reality programming technology, you gain complete linguistic sovereignty. You stop speaking unconsciously. You stop signing invisible contracts. You stop casting limitation spells over your own life. You reclaim the creative power they've deliberately hidden from you. This isn't about positive thinking. Positive thinking is surface level. It's like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. This is about understanding that you are a frequency generator broadcasting electromagnetic signatures every second. And language is how you tune that frequency. Some people manifest easily, and listen, it's not because they're more spiritual or more blessed. They just understand that every sentence is a contract with the universe, and the universe always says yes. Why decode language when you can just memorize what they tell you it means, right? Just trust us. This word means this. Don't ask where it came from. Don't ask what the roots are. Just memorize it and move on. This was coordinated. After World War II, after they saw what propaganda could do, how language could move entire nations, how words could convince people to do unspeakable things, they systematically removed linguistic literacy from education. Edward Bernays. You gotta know this name. Nephew of Sigmund Freud. Literally wrote the book on propaganda, public relations, he called it. He understood that controlling language controls populations. And his whole philosophy was this: a population that decodes language is dangerous. A population that understands etymology asks too many questions. They see through the manipulation. They recognize the spells being cast.
Y'all look at this. So the drinks don't work unless you scan this barcode, right? And then it'll give you 18 seconds. Here, watch. What? Oh my God, I'm spilling. They are done with you stealing drinks.
I know they're greedy, but we shouldn't drink that anyway.
After over 5 years, we now bring you the second video interview with James Casbolt. In Bases 4, Casbolt expanded on Barry King's material, first released in Bases 1 and 2. King talked about generated life forms, horrendous mind and population control programs, Mannequin and Puppet Master, all going on in Britain's Berkshire countryside at a base under the village of Peasmore. Casbolt highlighted even more horrific programs involving children, genetic experimentation and further terrifying details. And even a base under Parliament itself called CLC-1. In Bases 2 and 4, a further witness, Matt Todd, gave us even more detail with the involvement of the US military in the abductions, or MILABs, and how he killed 4 Greys at a base where people's souls were kept in cages. Bases 7 gave us super soldier Dave Marrow and his trauma-induced Monarch programming. Selected at birth and trained to fight off-planet perhaps, Mac Todd demonstrated radio signals coming from his many implants, the existence of some other form of dimensional reality, and a war with super beings is implied. So now, in Basis 9, we present Michael Prince, aka James Casbolt. This time, the SS comes into focus and the nightmare continues. That is, if any of these claims can ever be proved with factual, evidential data. James Casbolt.
James, we met in a previous persona as James on a previous edition of the Basis series. You've got a different persona now, or you've got two different ways you portray yourself to the public. Can you explain what the difference is, or why you've changed, or has there been a change? Michael Prince, James Casbolt.
It's just a simple matter of I'm using the name, my birth name, Michael Prince.
Right.
That's the name I was given at birth by my biological mother.
So where's the story of the Casbolt? What's sort of
that was a family I was adopted into, the Casbolt family.
Yeah.
So that was 81. Yeah, I need to go back to the beginning when I was a baby, the origins of Project Ibis.
Right.
It was the name of the project I was involved in, were born into, effectively, was named Project Ibis, and it was run by the NSA MI6. And it was tracking 42 children from different countries. And all those children were brought to a facility in Canada in the Rocky Mountains, underneath a small town called Nelson. And
what countries? Why were they selected?
According to the file information that I've seen, they were selected for because their DNA. The NSA information that I've seen says that we have what they call blood prime, which it states Anunnaki DNA.
What is blood prime? What specifically are the differences?
I think it's a type of alien DNA, human, alien, hybrid.
Is there any particular rhesus negative, positive, or anything like that?
I think there's the rhesus negative factor in it. I think that the O negative factor.
So how are the children selected as such? I mean, does that mean there's some means of selecting as if because it's from different, at birth, people's bloodline, medical records?
I think the mothers were selected, and the embryos were cloned embryos grown in an artificial environment, test tube babies. And I think those, from my understanding, those embryos were then implanted into specific women who gave birth, and then at the time of birth the children were transported to the underground facility in Nelson in Canada. The name of that facility was a Q552.
Where's Nelson? Is it in Manitoba, Winnipeg, somewhere?
That's a small town in the Rocky Mountains. It's in British Columbia, Canada. So we were all taken there at the time of birth. Some from America, I think. There was some from South America, obviously, some from the UK. I don't know who the other 42 children are. I've got a rough idea now.
Why 42?
I don't know.
Is it just that's what the sample was? There's no significance in it?
I don't know. I'm sure there's significance in it somewhere, but I don't have that information. Many of the children were transported on private CIA jets, small charter jets,
or
just like Learjets.
Yeah,
and transported there.
So what's the program? What specifically is the purpose of it? There's a lot of effort being put into this. Then why?
Project Ibis is again the Nazi connection. The name comes from the Giza intelligence group underneath the Giza pyramids, the Nazi group in World War II.
What Nazi group is this?
It's known as the Giza Intelligence, the Nazi group.
And which part of the Giza plateau were they involved with?
I don't know. I just know they were based underneath the Giza pyramids. There was a facility, the Nazis in World War II, and the name connects to Thoth, the immortal, in the Egyptian. His some connection with an ibis bird would represent Thoth in Egypt.
And what were they trying to find in Egypt, or what did they find in Egypt?
I think they found some kind of life extension technology, and this was effectively this was a major part of the Ibis program, was life extension, regeneration.
Is there some kind of chamber that you could mention, or any particular area?
Yeah, there's the emerald chambers.
The emerald?
Or the emerald rooms. But I think that's in more than one location. I'd rather not talk too much about the emerald rooms. I'd rather just focus, because it's such a complex subject. It's
Is this to do with the storage of souls on the earth and the recreation on earth?
This is very much physical. This is at the Q552, we were being indoctrinated with Nazi principles, Germanic principles.
Were you indoctrinated by Nazis?
Yeah, it was Nazi. It wasn't just Nazis there, but there was a big Nazi presence. Some of the philosophies we're indoctrinated with there. You see those philosophies in Germanic organisations to this day, like the Odinist Fellowship in this country. The philosophies are based around, obviously, the creation of an Uberman, a Superman. But they see life on Earth as a means to an end. They're not trying to get somewhere else. They're not trying to get to heaven or another planet. They want to become physically immortal in this body, on this Earth, and stay here. Now, we're also indoctrinated with the Germanic belief in endless warfare. That would be our reality. Once we stayed here physically, our reality would be endless warfare, and there'd be periods of rest.
Purely to maybe reorganize the logistics, or?
They talked about the 1,000-year Reich, 1,000 years of peace, which would be periods of rest in between the warfare, and then it would just be a continuous cycle. And that was effectively how they'd indoctrinated us to be assassins when we were older, so we could keep functioning. If we were concerned about the next hit and had anxiety about that, we wouldn't be able to carry out and function. But if in our mindset, if we believed that we were designed for endless warfare and it would never stop, we would just accept that and be relaxed when we were involved.
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.